Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of Presuppositional Apologetics. Last episode, we discussed the importance of separating worldviews. For example, not to assume that atheism is the default position, not to start at atheism and argue for God by their rules. Also, in theory, there is no common ground. Even adding 2 plus 2 is accounted for very differently, depending on a person's beliefs about the world. For example, a Hindu may believe that adding 2 plus 2 is a manifestation of the divine. An atheist may believe that adding 2 plus 2 is as of a biological mechanism reflecting the laws of physics. A Christian may explain adding 2 plus 2 as properly using our brain as God has designed it. So every aspect of life is explained differently, depending on the worldview or theory of everything that you hold. This video will be discussing how the presuppositional method proves the truth of Christianity, and that is by demonstrating this following argument. Either Christianity is true or another worldview. Not another worldview, therefore Christianity. You will demonstrate that every essential doctrine of Christianity is absolutely necessary in order to maintain a coherent philosophy. That is, Christianity is the only worldview that is a theory of everything, without any contradictions, irrationality, or assumptions. If you subtract even one essential doctrine of Christianity, then your worldview will be reduced to absurdity. If the skeptics watching this video want me to explain further and respond to their objections, I may begin by telling them this important key factor. God has made it known to me that He exists, the Bible is His Word, and I have the ability to understand it. Now, with that being said, I know Christianity is true, and the Bible contains everything you need to know for a complete and coherent worldview and philosophy of life. Now, all the problems that you have in your worldview that cause it to be reduced to absurdity is because you deny the truth in the Bible. So again, here's the argument. Either Christianity or another worldview. Now this covers all options. Not any other worldview, because they're reduced to absurdity. Therefore, Christianity. Now here's a list of some things that can be used to show all other worldviews to be inadequate. Now some of these topics can be used to reduce them to absurdity, and we will discuss these in more detail in future videos. But I want to address some common objections. First, someone may ask, how does God make it known? The response is, I'm not sure how, but I am sure that He did. Second objection, you could be deceived by aliens. Response, now knowledge is different than deception. Knowledge is a belief that you have about something that is true, and you have good reason for believing it. But deception, on the other hand, is a belief that you have about something that is false. See, God makes it known that He exists. It's not just a belief about yourself and what you think you know. It's actual knowledge that He exists. Third objection. Now someone may say, you use your senses and reason to understand the Bible. And if your senses and reason is flawed, then what you've learned about God is probably false. The response, God has the power to grant knowledge apart from the senses and reason. Ephesians 2:8 says faith is a gift from God. Now, fourth objection, usually presented by atheists, and they may say that they can account for reason and logic built upon axioms. Response, you are basically agreeing with our argument. Your axioms are some of the issues we are pointing out. You have to assume things to be true with no evidence and put your faith in them. And moreover, You object to others who believe things with no evidence. Also, many axioms not only have no justification in your worldview, but are also inconsistent with it. Fifth objection. Now somebody may say, I'm an atheist, and I know that I do not believe in God. The response is, the Bible says God has made it known that He exists, but people suppress the truth and exchange the truth for a lie, and their minds become darkened. So this could be referring to a self-deception. That is, you tell yourself that you don't believe in God, and then you believe your own lie. Sixth objection. Now someone may claim that self-deception is impossible, that you cannot know something and not know it at the same time. You cannot know something and not know it at the same time. The response to this is, self-deception is not holding two contradictory beliefs at the same time. It's not that you know God exists and that you don't know God exists at the same time, but rather it could be that you know God exists and then you have a higher order belief, that is, a belief about your belief. So you believe that your belief about God is false. It's kind of like this. X believes Y, and X believes X does not believe Y. These are two different beliefs. Alright, so in the last video, we talked about how worldviews are completely different in every aspect. The Bible says God has made it known that He exists. We believe what God says. In this video, the argument was presented, either Christianity or another worldview. Not another worldview, therefore Christianity. Also, that God's revelation is necessary for maintaining a complete and coherent worldview. In the next video, I plan to discuss in more detail how specifically non-Christian worldviews are reduced to absurdity. Thank you so much for watching. Please post your questions and comments below. Have a great day, because that's all, folks.